Hey guys, me Aswad, and I am doing the review for the Suicide Squad, and I give this movie a high score of 10 out of 10. Very rarely do I start a review with the score, but I feel it's justified, and I will explain in my review why I give it such a high score. I want to start off saying that I didn't like the first one except for Margot Robbie, and even then the movie was so bad that I just because you like Margot Robbie doesn't mean you're gonna watch it again and again. That's all I can say about that first movie. So I saw this movie and a few days back, and I did not want to do immediate review because I want to give it some time, because I was surprised how much I love it. And I think when you start having this kind of emotional reaction that you say is perfect, is 10 out of 10 for me. I wanted to give it some time. Maybe I was in the state of mind during that time I watched it, and I blindly give it that higher score. Maybe some bad things will crop up. The bad things never crop up. Okay, so good news if you're looking for a 10 out of 10 movie. This is it. This is for me a 10 out of 10 movie. Okay, before I had a note, but I was driving. I left my notes in the house, but I remember what I wrote. I wrote point by point why I love it. But when I went into this movie, I was a bit worried, and I will tell you why I was a bit worried. Two things which made me worried, because there was a reviewer who I respect very much, a movie reviewer. Her name is Grace Randolph, and I follow her, I subscribe to her, and she is a movie reviewer. She also does comics, and she's very respected, and I respect her very much. So when I heard her review, she had this she said the movie was too violent to the point that she was not enjoying it, and there were so many innocent people being killed, and me and her, I agree so much with her on a lot of things, especially when it comes to violence and human life. I agree a lot with her. So when she said that this movie is too violent, or too many people, innocent people are dead, I was having this kind of worry that this movie is going to be as bad as she said. She didn't say the movie bad. She said it's well made, but the movie is not for her because so much of the violence and innocent people being killed, and also how they treat Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. So I went in with that kind of worry, the biggest one. And I also went in with like no expectation so much, because the trailer was very, very low key. This is not like the trailer for the first movie which was so bombastic that you love it. The trailer for the Suicide Squad was really underperform. I would say underwhelming. It didn't tell you. It tells you about they are fighting some sort of monster. It tells you about the variety of characters, but the trailer is focused a lot on Harley Quinn. And I will tell you something. Surprisingly, because I went in because I wanted to see Harley Quinn. That's the only reason I said. Besides, it's too much violence. I want to see how Harley Quinn here, because she's prominent in the trailer. Okay, here's my take from this movie. At the end of it, Harley Quinn is not even my favorite character anymore. That's how the movie surprised me, and oh my god. So okay, like I say, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. And I say I went in this movie with low expectation, because my respected reviewer Grace Randolph says it's like that, it's violent, and a lot of innocent people being killed. And you know, James Gunn doesn't have the best reputation, And you know, you went in with this kind of negative things, but my friend, I went in after I watched it. It changes completely. My mind just blown. And I'm very strict about films. I never give. It's very difficult for me to give a movie this high a score, and I'm giving this movie high score because for a good reason. It is so good. Okay, let's go with the summary. The Suicide Squad, Amanda Waller is still in charge, so she sent a group of Suicide Squad team to this island and to destroy this dictator and destroy this experiment they are doing on the people there, and to wipe it clean. And so that's basically that's it. So there's a lot more characters, but a lot of the characters were killed off because they were just a distraction. And then the main Suicide Squad, which is like Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba. You have Flag, you have John Cena character Peacemaker, and you have Polka Dot Man, you have King Shark, you have Ratcatcher, and then of course you have Harley Quinn. The movie is very simple but very effective for one huge reason, and why I love this movie above everything else, above the storyline, above the special effects, above the world building and whatnot, the cinematography. Beyond all that, I love the characters, and that's the one of, I think that's the big chunk why I give this movie like 90% of the 10 out of 10. 90% of the reason this movie won me over is the characters. The part 2, I will give you why the 10% that completes my 10 out of 10 score. Okay, the characters are fantastic, and at first I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. And the characters, you know, they were not handsome or like macho or, you know, except for Flag, Bloodsport, and John Cena, Peacemaker. They were all like macho characters. And of course Margaret Robbie, of course, sexy. But I'll be honest with you, those characters doesn't even I didn't like. I mean, I mean, it's not that I hate them, but they did not factor in any way to this to my liking of this movie. Instead, I was liking these weird characters like King Shark. He's half shark, half man. I love it. There's Polka Dot Man, which is the most stupid character I've ever seen. He shoots Polka Dot. You can see the trailer, I think. He shoots Polka Dot. And then there's Ratcatcher, a girl who's ugly, you know, not ugly, but she's like dirty because she hangs out with rats, and one of the most disgusting animal. But at the end of the movie, I love her character, Ratcatcher. My top favorite character in this movie is Ratcatcher. Second is Peacemaker by Idris Elba, and third is Polka Dot Man, and fourth is Shark, King Shark. The reason I put the Ratcatcher girl and the Idris Elba Bloodsport simply because their relationship is like father and daughter. They like to be that kind of relationship is so touching, and I love that kind of approach where you forget about everything else except the characters. That happened to me. I forgot, you know, I don't care about anything else. I just love these characters. I just love the characters. I love, because the way they created these characters is sending a good message, because they said this movie is James Gunn, and this is why the big 90% score I give 10 is because the message is these people are not perfect. They are ugly. Like, you know, King Shark is ugly because he's shaped like shark. It's not handsome, it's not macho. Polka Dot Man is just not handsome. He's ugly. He's awkward. Ratcatcher is just, you know, because she hangs out with you know, rats and whatnot. They are not. She's not Margot Robbie. You know, so this group of people, they are the misfits. Actually, the whole Suicide Squad are criminals and misfits. But these three characters are the misfits. They are ugly. They are nobody will think. You think nobody will love them. But James Gunn is so great in making these characters becomes the most beautiful characters I've ever seen. I was so touched by the movie, by this character. I was so touched by this character that I don't even care about all the weaknesses that they show. I mean, the storyline stopped being that important. And kudos, that's why I'm saying this is a character movie. It is so amazing because you very rarely see this kind of movie anymore. Movies nowadays are focused on these handsome characters, macho characters winning the day. This movie is saying this discarded character, damaged character, misfits, awkward characters, they are the most beautiful people in this gang of, you know, superheroes and anti-heroes. They are like the most beautiful characters, beautiful in terms of their heart, and they win the day. And I love that. I can just talk about these characters forever, you know. I mean, I'm focusing on three, right? King Shark, Polka Dot Man, and Ratcatcher. King Shark doesn't have any friends. People are afraid of him, and he's dumb. He can eat anything and anybody. He's eaten in this movie. They show he eats people also, but that's not spoiler. You can see in the trailer. And he doesn't have any friend because people are afraid of him. In this movie, he learns how to make friends, and he end up having more friends than he started with. Good character arc. In the end, I love this. I love him because he's dumb, but he's nice. You know, once you get to know him, nice. You know, this is what people saying. The message of this movie is also saying, don't judge a book by its cover. And I love that. That's so very difficult to find movies like this anymore. Polka Dot Man, I love Polka Dot Man character. I can identify Polka Dot Man. Why? He looks ugly. If you can see, you Google the trailer. But the backstory, fantastic. He was abused by his mom. His mother abused him, and his mother did experiment on him. And his story can be sad. He is sad, and he started this movie as being sad. He just hated himself because he was abused by his own mom. So I don't want to spoil what he sees. You know, when you see it, oh my God, it's funny also at the same time. You know, wherever he sees people, he sees his mom. So because the mom traumatized him so much, and he becomes so awkward, and he is so sad. At the first in the movie, I think the trailer also seen him. They were asking, you know, oh, we're gonna die. Yeah. He hopes so. He hates his life so much. He's cursed. But in this movie, I love his character because he started off like that. He's a damaged, abused character, abused by his own mom, hates everything, want to die. He was changed into somebody who, you know, started to make friends, started to appreciate people. He's the only one who remembers the bus driver, who is the most nobody character in the movie, but he's the only one who remembers it. There's a scene of a joke that I love it, man. How they transfer somebody who is so awkward, so funny, so weird into somebody who is at the end. He said something like, you know what? I am a superhero now, because he used to hate himself because of the abuse he went through, trauma. Now he feels good about himself, even when whatever fate that he got, I don't feel sad because his character was elevated again, all of the characters have, my favorite characters have arc. Meaning they change from normal to wonderful and beautiful. So in the movie, you see them down first. You see the character first impression. Let's say, don't judge a book by its cover. Their cover is very bad. They're ugly and they are not that handsome. They are not sexy. Ratcatcher is not sexy like Margot Robbie. But at the end, the character went like this, and you find the beauty in the. That's why James Gunn was fantastic, man. They're saying, don't judge a book by its cover. This movie proves that. Prove it 100%. Wow, I can watch this again for the characters alone, because I feel like that, you know. I feel my whole life. Okay, I want to relate this to my life. My life, I was abused. I was told I'm ugly. I was told nobody loved me. I was told somebody recently told me, you know, your face muka pecah. Muka pecah means broken face in Malay, like nobody will love you. But in my life, I met my mentor Walid. He taught me I have value, and he taught me to embrace it, to learn more about myself, and in the end, I love myself. I can say I love myself. I'm not ugly. I love what God gave me, and I'm beautiful. I have to do beautiful things. That's the message that from my Walid. I have to do beautiful things. People can say anything about you, but who you are is because God love you. Yes, you are here because of God love you, and you have to do beautiful things, because to say thanks to God. I love how my mentor trained me like that, because I was like this character. I was the misfit. People don't like me. I don't have many friends because I think I'm so awkward. Nobody will love me. So I stay in the background. I was very awkward and shy and a very negative person, like this misfit character in this movie. So I relate to these characters. I was thinking like, you know what? I went through this process. You know, the movie just reminding me the message that my mentor taught me, which is the beauty of a person doesn't come from the outside. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. And my Walid, my mentor, I call him Walid, he saw the beauty in me and the value in me, which is why I love this movie so much, because James Gunn is showing that there are value in everybody. Even the bad guy in the end, no spoiler, the bad guy is a giant starfish alien, and he's shown as evil. And you will understand why he's evil. Okay, they go to this place, they want to destroy this alien. Then they realize, at the end, if you think about it, that's why I took some time. It came to me, the alien is angry because people were experimenting on him. Because at the end, the alien said, oh, I was just floating in space, enjoying the space, and then the American captured him and experimented on him, and so he's become very angry, and he tried to get revenge. But in the end, he said that, you know, I never meant to be evil. People capture me. I was enjoying space. It's so sad. So what James Gunn managed to do is to give value, to give some sort of, man, I'm tearing up as I'm talking like this because it touched me, you know. I can see I'm not making this up. I'm not being emotional on purpose. Thinking about this movie, even the villain, they have reason to be this, to react why they react. And for me, when James Gunn did this movie, he is telling you there's value in all of everybody. There's value. Even the bus driver that nobody care about, there is value because somebody acknowledge he exists. And this bus driver, he's not a superhero at all. He's just a bus driver. At one point in the movie, the character said, why did he stay in the bus? You know, he's not a superhero. He's not charged with doing the mission, but he went and ahead and do the mission. That's why the polka dot man, he appreciate that. When Bloodsport say, why did you stay in the bus? He's not a superhero. No, polka dot man said he wants to do something. Wow, I love all of the characters. I love it to the point when at the end, near the end, as the movie was slowly going to the third half, like all these characters showing their beautiful colors and characters, I was like this. I became emotional at that movie. And I was asking myself, why am I crying? Why am I tearing up? It's just a movie, man. But I was touched. I was touched because he shows their value in people that you hate, in people that you think ugly or worthless. Because that's what I've been through also. People told me my I don't want to mention who, but I was abused. I was told I was ugly. I was told I was evil, tak guna, no, useless. And my mentor give value to me. You love yourself. You are a very valuable person. You're not dumb. When people do that to me, I was loyal to my walid. Well, even though I'm not perfect, but my walid, my mentor, I respect him to the very end. I respect him, even though I'm not a perfect person. I'm tearing up. I relate to my walid because of the movie. I was thinking of my walid. Yeah, this is my walid. What my walid did to me, because these characters have value. In the end, even though they're ugly, you know, they are become the most beautiful characters in this movie. And my tears was running out. But the most macho people, the sexy people, I didn't care. That's why I was surprised, because, you know, I went in, I want to see Margot Robbie, the sexy girl. I don't care about her anymore. I don't care about John Cena or Flag, or, you know. The reason I care about Bloodsport, because he cares about the little girl, the rat catcher girl, because he's just scared. This relationship become like father and daughter. He was never a good father. They show that he was not a good father, but in this movie, at the end, he discovered how to be a fatherly figure to this child, the rat catcher girl. Wow! Because of the character, James Gunn can just shoot this movie with just this character and hire somebody to play Starro. Don't have to put special effect. I will love it. Maintain the characters development. Even if this movie doesn't have special effect or Margot Robbie or whatnot, I will love this movie. I still love this movie because of what he put up there. This is a long review and I feel it's worth it. Okay, now you can see why I'm tearing up. How can I not give this movie a 10 out of 10? 10 out of 10. Okay, the 10%, that's it. That movie, 90% score, I give it to because of the characters. The 10% score, why this movie is good, because it has a subtle message. The message is America done a lot of bad things in the world. I never expected that. I never expected that. I'm tearing up because this is an American movie made by an American director, but the movie is saying that America has done a lot of bad things in the world. But the way the directors show that, it's not overt. It's not directly saying to you, oh, the movie is America is evil. No, it's just like in the background, like who captured, tortured the Starro alien is American. America found the alien in space and then tortured the alien for years. But because they don't want to torture on American soil, this was explained in the movie. They torture in this island, and this island was ruled by a dictator, and this dictator was put by America. Why America don't take action? because the dictator was friendly with America. So when that happened, America protect the dictator because they have use for because they're doing the experiment for on behalf of America. That is a huge statement that is happening in the world today. You know, America supports a lot of dictatorship as long as they are pro-America. If you're pro-America, if you're a country but you are pro-America, you do many bad things, America will protect you. That's what happened here. So when the dictatorship collapsed, Amanda Waller, which is American, part of American government, sent the Suicide Squad to destroy the experiment so that they don't have any trace to America, and also to destroy. They show that this army killed the rebel forces, because they don't care. And Amanda Waller said, if you see all these rebels, kill them. That's the message that the movie is trying to say, that America has done a lot of bad things, but the way they mention it, very subtle. Okay, that's the 10% out of this movie, because the message is there. The first message is the character, which is the misfits wins the day. Actually, the ugly misfits are the most beautiful people in the world. If you don't never judge a book by its cover. And the 10%, America has done a lot of bad things in the world. American foreign policy sucks. That's the message that need. Okay, now that you know the context, I want to go back to what Grace Randolph say, the movie reviewer. Okay, Grace Randolph say a lot of innocent people are being killed, which is the rebel. She split specifically about how they go into the rebel camp, and the rebel camp were innocent people, but they kill them like indiscriminately, and she was disturbed by it. Now that was, when she said that way, it's out of context, because she is saying, she is describing that scenes which is kind of like very violent. But in context, the movie is trying to show this is American foreign policy. In American foreign policy, when they enter any country, they kill all the rebel. America will kill all the rebel. Anybody who is against the dictators, who is pro America, they will destroy all the rebel. So that, you know, drone bombing like that, this is the message. So in that context, James Gunn is trying to send a message. When you see, yeah, it's violent, right? When Grace Randolph say it's violent against rebels and whatnot, innocent soldiers fighting for freedom, she says that out of context. But with context, James Gunn is trying to say this is what America do. That's the message out of that. So the violence that Grace Randolph was worried about was out of context. By itself, it looks like that, like they are killing innocent people. But by context, by message, it's saying, yes, this is what America do. America will support their supporters, even though they're dictators, and kill others. That's what America do in Iraq, in Iran, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Afghanistan. If that, you know, it's happened in the world, but the message, okay. So Grace Randolph says that, which is out of context. Okay, now another point, the violence. When Grace Randolph was saying that all this violence, I was thinking about Saw. I was thinking about you know, all this gore porn. I was thinking that kind of, okay, let me be honest with you. Okay, it's a rated R, it's violent, but the violent level is Blade 1 and Blade 2. Blade 1 and Blade 2 acted by Wesley Snipes, and you can find this movie. That's the level of violence. It was directed by Guillermo del Toro, about a vampire superhero. Marvel first black superhero, yeah, was Blade. There was an old movie made by Guillermo del Toro. The kind of level of violence is there, with cutting heads and whatnot. You can see in the movie, even cutting people in, you know, in pieces. You can see that in Blade. So for me, I thought it would be like But for me, that's not gore porn, and that's not that bad. Okay, so that's my comment about that. So that the message I give you why I love it 90% because the characters, 10% of the political message, which is America has done a lot of shitty things in the world, and I answered Grace Randolph, you know, saying that it's too violent, it's so violent. She is saying that out of context, and yeah, so that's why I give this movie in the end 10 out of 10 score. Like I said, the main characters, my favorite characters is in no order, Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man, and King Shark, and Bloodsport Idris Elba, because of the father storyline. If there's no father storyline, I wouldn't include him in the list. There's no Margot Robbie in my favorite list. Surprisingly, I was surprised, because once you see all this character, Ratcatcher and everything else, you don't care about Margot Robbie. Yeah, I love this movie. 10 out of 10. Character, I can watch it if okay, you know, if then even. But I have to say the production is good. The special effect is good. Starro is also at Starro, and the bus driver. But Starro also fantastic because of the subtext. You know, there's a context to his character. Why he's violent? Why he's angry at human being? Why he's killing so many humans? So that's it. Grace Randolph was saying that again. There's so many innocent people dead because of what Starro did. But if you go back to the subtext, that was out of context. Yeah, he killed a lot of human, but you must understand they tortured him. So he's angry. He has a point to get to. He has a reason. They tortured him so long time, and all he wanted to do was just flying through space. So you understand his motivation. So Grace Randolph, I respect Grace Randolph, but what she said about the whole thing was out of context, right? And then, like I said, I give the score 10 out of 10. I give you my favorite characters. I give that. Okay, now is the post review. I wanted to make a separate video, but you can turn off the radio, the video now, because the review is done. I give the score early on. The post review I want to just go straight ahead, is the movie has been released and it doesn't make the high score. I mean high, but the high money, it did not take a lot of money. But James Gunn have been saying that he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He got to make a lot of his own movie, but the movie didn't make money. And Grace Randolph was attacking him, man. I don't know what Grace Randolph doesn't like. I mean, Grace Randolph doesn't like him because of his old Twitter controversy. I think that's why, even though she admits the movie is well made, but the way she attacks him was like, is this personal? And I still respect Grace Randolph, but her attack has almost becoming personal. And she was glee when the movie didn't make a lot of money when it first released. Okay, let me tell you something. Why I want to answer this thing, controversy. I don't call it controversy. This fact of life. This movie is released during COVID. Second, this is a coming lockdown. Some countries like Malaysia is already in another lockdown, so nobody can go to the cinema. Nobody can go to the cinema, and nobody wants to go to the cinema even if it's open. So the movie didn't make its budget because of the COVID. That's all. That's all. I'm trying to look at what I can complain about this movie. It is a big deal when you cannot make my movie during the COVID. That's it. People were saying that it's too violent and whatnot. I'm explaining to you, the level of violence is Blade 1 and Blade 2. That's not gore. For me, gore is like Saw. They linger on the violence. This doesn't linger. This doesn't linger at all. Whatever Grace said about the violence, I counter it already in my video. So Other than that, it's unfortunate that it was released during COVID. What can you do? But that's the reality of it. The way forward, like I said, try to give a way forward. I think this movie will work without the high budget, without the special effect. If you just focus on the characters. Characters are human and relatability is high, and you can just make a movie out of these people, and I would still watch it. I would still give it 10 out of 10 because that's how good they were. What else do I have anything other complaint? No, man. This is my long-winded review for deservedly for the Suicide Squad. It makes you forget about the first Suicide Squad completely, and I end up with a feel-good movie. I love this movie. It makes me feel warm, relatable. There's so much I can relate to. It's so much emotional. It's about never judge a book by its cover, and sometimes the people that you call ugly or bad or worthless, they are the one who wins the day. They are the most beautiful people at heart, and I took that to heart, and I love it. Blu-ray definitely if it comes out. I love this movie. I can watch it again and again. That's my review for the Suicide Squad. Again, 10 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching and being patient with me. Please like and subscribe if you want to. Peace.